Welcome back, and yes, we're on a title screen. Well, you may be asking, why are we on a title screen? It is because we are coming back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, and that title sound, oh, that is one of the best GameCube games title screen sounds ever. Well, I'm hoping the mic placement's better this time as we start the chapter, except that's just what it says whenever you're starting the new chapter, reloading. Chapter 1, The Battle Begins. Bing. Now, as advice from some of the pioneers of Let's Plays in the first place, I will not be reading on-screen text. But I am going to check my connections really quick. There. Ah! Okay. Sorry if there was a little bit of flickering on your end. There was on my TV, but not here. One of the audio cables was not fully plugged in, so I'm hoping to get better quality now. At least out of the game. Not that anything had started yet. I'm okay, I'm going to fill you guys in a little bit. Grail is by far one of my favorite Fire Emblem characters, because of how he's portrayed throughout the whole thing. And Titania, welcome to Titania, who was, I can't even remember the name of it, but there's an actual syndrome of Fire Emblem about it. In every Fire Emblem, you start out with one unit that is tier 2, or at least in the main part of the story. So we know we're not going to have a secondary part of the story. We are just starting out with tier 2. I think it's Harden. No, it can't be Harden. Harden's a bad guy. Oh man, now hardcore Fire Emblem fans are going to be mocking my Fire Emblem chops because I don't know the person I'm thinking of. But, I do know, to those of you who actually know who I'm referring to, I do know about him, because, well, one of the most effective methods I had for using him in Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, which is the DS remake of the very first Fire Emblem, I changed him to a Swordmaster, and he was a BA Swordmaster. Dude was not to be mocked. I do love Boyd a little bit. I relate to Boyd a little bit is what it is. Oscars... Okay, something you need to know, and no, you'll piece together pretty darn quick. But Oscar and Boyd are brothers, I'll say that much at least. And, Titania is sort of the second-in-command, most responsible one. Now, here's a little thing that I'm actually going to have to look up that connects directly to Fire Emblem Path of Radiance itself, and sorry if I breathed on the mic a little bit there. While she explains things, I'm going to look up the part that I need to look up. Okay, so on each map, as she explains this, I will explain something else. On each map, though this won't matter till later, there's a chance for bonus EXP. That won't matter till we have a preparation screen. But we start collecting it here on this map. Now, at least for this map, on easy mode you get 300 bonus EXP. On normal mode, and hard mode, which is what we're on, you get 200 bonus EXP. Now, on Maniac, you get 100. And for every turn, for everything you fail on the clear condition, you get that taken away. So you start out with the max, and then as you go over, you go back. In this case, we have to clear this map in 4 turns. And I'm going to be aiming for a max bonus EXP run, because I have very specific uses for it. Sorry if I'm skipping through a little bit here. Because I share Titania's sentiment. We need to cut the chit-chat and get to work. This is where she gets into it. This is where the weapon triangle comes in. Yeah, okay, the other thing she's just bringing up now. Sorry, waiting trying to get to the actual map. These villages, they are houses with people in them, and people with things. You know, items we can get out of them. I will demonstrate through somebody, if I remember right, who can move after they go there. Thank you for coming. Sorry, I really, screw it. I don't care what the successful OPers do. I actually am going to, talk through it. I'm going to talk out what they do. Being said, I have 4 turns to get my way up there and end him. I'm trying to be very careful about this. Because again, death is permanent if I make a miscalculation. You're definitely coming all the way out here to Titania. Alright, so we can get stuff out of there like you saw with him getting the steel sword, which I will take full advantage of by doing this. He has a lot of iron swords. That's a good thing, mostly, for other sakes, but in this case, I need to fill you in on the actual weapon stats now. Attack is the amount of damage you're doing. Hit is the base hit chance before you factor in the opponent's evasion in your skill. Avoid, the AVO, I think that's critical avoid, so that's the chance lessening somebody else's critical, I believe. Crit is, of course, the chance of getting a critical at base. Dodge is your chance of avoiding getting hit, and range is how far you can attack with it. And effect is an alternate effect to normal. One of these things in here. Yes, this is the section I wanted. Next to sword, there's a letter. That is the rank of skill you must have with the weapon in order to use it. Might is the amount. That's what it is. That little box over there is what we would have total if we used it. Sorry. I'm trying to think here. That's not factoring the rest of it in. What we have here is the base stat for the weapons. Might is what it adds on top of your own strength. So in our case, I can tell already Ike has a strength of 5. But anyway, hit rate is 75. Crit 0, which means there's no bonus chance, meaning that 3 crit, it comes naturally with our skill. Now weight is an interesting one. Weight is taken away from your speed. Not in the purest sense. But, how do I phrase this? The weight with your constitution and your speed not only decides how fast you attack, but the higher weight a weapon is, notice there's a difference here, it also changes how fast you learn the weapon. So in our case, though normal people go, I'm going to save that because it's hit harder, I'm going to save it for bosses. In this particular case, I'm wanting Ike to get pretty darn good as quick as I can, and I'm not expecting to wear through that this early. At least not for this map. We need to get through it quickly, so gonna see that as much as I can. Oh. He's okay though. Trying to get as much experience as I can. He should be fine, but we don't have a healer, so I do have to be kind of careful with the chances I'm taking. The fact that we have Titania, a tier 2 unit, gives us the potential to really hunger down on this. What's going on out there? Is that some kind of army? I always imagine this guy sounding a little bit like Sylvester Stallone, but since I'm not Sylvester Stallone, you're gonna have to go with a cheap knockoff. Haha. A bunch of those looking for the next meal. Villages must have hired 'em. Listen up, lads. Hurt 'em bad. Adrian! We let this bunch live, and we'll have hordes of hired swords hounding us the rest of our days. He's just got that face. He's one of those fool villagers. They think they can buy a bunch of cell swords to chase us away. It ain't gonna work out how they wanted. All they get for their trouble is a bunch of ruined houses. Tear 'em down, boys. That'll teach 'em. And this is where we get exposed to another angle. Certain classes, namely only one that is to say, actually two of them, pirates and brigands. If they enter a village before you do, they will burn it down, and thus you will not be able to go in and save the villagers there. That is just the way it goes. Oh, come on, Ike. You're better than that. Right now, all we have for healing is vulneraries. So... that's what I mean by she's a tier 2. You know, Oscar's on a horse too. But he doesn't have armor or a white horse or anything like that. Oh, he has armor on him, but not on the horse. As far as I know, she's the only female cavalier we get. So she gets her own little interesting sprite. Well, female. Yeah, female cavalier, female paladin, because in this game the difference between the two is very slim. Since those bandits took over, we can't even sleep at night. Please, help us save our village. Here, my mother left me this. I hope it serves you well. Now we are going to run that back for Ike. Not because of what it can do now, but because what it can do later. I need to look at this again. 68 chance. Oh, that's so silly. You know what? I made a mistake trying to use the other weapon I did before. He's gonna survive, so we're fine. Another thing that experienced Fire Emblem fans that haven't played this Fire Emblem before may want to know. There is a mechanic in here that we will be getting more into later, called support, that every Fire Emblem fan is aware of. It's a really good level up. And what it means is the bond between people will grow as time goes on, and only in this game, however, it's different than normal, in the fact that... that's just... there you go, Oscar. It's different than normal in the fact that instead of previous Fire Emblem games before this one came out where you had to be directly next to each other, or even in Fire Emblem Awakening where you have to be directly next to each other. In this game, it's about being on the same battlefield for extended periods. Time to move on to bigger things. Now, smash me some mercenaries. You only gotta smash one house, douche nozzle. I'm sorry if that was a little bit crass for those of you with the refined tastes. Let's face it, he kinda is one. Instead of doing that, like I wanted to do, I'm gonna do this, get the most out of this I can. Smack him around the head, Titania. Kinda needs it. You looking for something, fool? You looking for a fight? You came to the right place. I'll give you a tussle. Nah, we won't get to see the cool thing. But one of the best things... I'm meant for better than this. I don't want to die here. One of the cool things about Ike is every boss he fights, he has quips for. He has quips against them. But you may say, oh, why are we not seeing Ike do that? Well, because he couldn't really get to the boss in a practical manner this time around. So... kinda wait for my opportunity to smack people around the head. Ike. Not Ike. Oh, Boyd's not gonna live through this. Not unless he goes to attack Oscar. I thought I'd say this, but please attack Oscar instead. Oh, Oscar will be fine. Hate to have Oscar steal all the kills here because, you know, experience needs to go around evenly, but in this case, if it saves Boyd's life, I'm more than happy. See, that's the thing. This Let's Play, it's going to be organic. The only time I'm going to have redos is if somebody so important that it immediately ends the mission dies. That means if somebody I really like dies, I'm going to be favoring, you know, sending Ike off on suicide missions to avenge them. Feeding Titania experience is kind of a waste, in a way. Even though I like her. Because, I mean, look at that. BA girl. Right now, everybody else needs to experience more. She will remain at the same level of BA-ness her entire existence here. And the last thing we want to do... Can't reach him, so Oscar needs to get this kill. Oscar, finish the job. Oh, Oscar, you're such a lovely guy. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, Titania's gonna stay at the same relative level of BA that she is right now. That being the case, we especially need to feed Ike, who, well before he can do anything more about it, will be an unstoppable BA guy. But right now... Oh, there was an option in there called Seize. So let's just call this friggin' good. Yeah, actually this means I can explain the latter half, though I am gonna have to look at my phone again for it. There it is. You see, if in fact you're off by a turn, you lose 10 of the bonus experience, which is not a horrid loss. Not a super bad thing once you're trying to raise people to higher levels, but every little bit helps. I'm just friggin'... I'm raging because, you know... I had it! You saw it! You saw it right here. I had it, and I did something dumb. And that's pretty much how Fire Emblem is in a nutshell. You have it in the bag, and you do something dumb. Sorry, shouldn't have done the burpiness in the mic. Not directly in the mic, mind you, but, you know, hiccup burp. Those are the worst. But, yep, we're seizing this. We're down 10 bonus experience, but that won't be super important later, I don't think. And, we'll see the ending of the scene here. I'll explain bonus experience when we get to it. That's the end. Ike, are you alright? Yeah, I'll be fine. You know, it surprised me to think that you've come so far. Look at my father, though. I've still got such a long way to go. There's nothing you can do about that. After all, Commander Grail is... Huh? What about my father? Oh, nothing. Nothing? Now I'm really curious. Don't worry, you'll learn all about it someday. Hey, Ike! That wasn't bad for your first battle. Not as flashy as my first time, though. Yeah, you were a real standout. I'll never forget the sight of you so keyed up you broke your own axe. Oscar, dang it! You didn't have to bring that up. Anyway, Ike, congrats on finishing your first mission. Welcome to the group. Everyone alright? Then let's get going. I'm sure Mist has a nice hot meal waiting for us. And so ends Chapter 1. I'll see you around.